The crown died with a cold, mechanical finality that sent a shiver through 50,000 people. Welcome to Wrestling Apocalypse, the only place where we don't just tell the story of chaos, we explore the unknown alongside you. The wrestling world has been haunted by the image of main event Jey Uso, left for dead in a darkened loading dock, buried under a mountain of steel and carried out of SmackDown in an ambulance with fellow superstars in disbelief at the scene, wondering who could do something like this to Jey Uso. We speculated on everyone. We thought it was the bloodline seeking ultimate revenge, we thought it was a returning legend, we even thought it might be a ghost from Jey's past. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, Jey Uso didn't just return, he walked into that ring with a look of hollowed-out fury that we haven't seen since the days of the Bloodline Civil War. He didn't come for a match. He didn't come for a promo. He came for a public execution of a reputation. And the way he revealed his attacker? It wasn't through a video package or a finger point. It was the most shocking, visceral, and psychologically damaging reveal in the history of the Red brand. The main event just pulled the mask off the monster, and the face underneath has officially set the road to Wrestlemania 42 on fire. The atmosphere inside the building tonight was thick with a static electricity you could practically taste. From the moment Raw went on the air, the Yeet chants were different. They weren't celebratory, they were a demand for justice. Jey Uso emerged from the crowd, not down the ramp, wearing a black hoodie that seemed to swallow his very silhouette. He didn't play to the fans. He didn't do the dance. He climbed into that ring, grabbed a steel chair, sat in the center of the squared circle, and stared at the entranceway for 10 minutes of televised silence. The commentary team of Michael Cole and Wade Barrett were whispering, terrified to break the tension. Cole kept saying, "Jey looks like a man who has seen the end of the world and decided to come back to tell us about it." The cinematic buildup reached a breaking point when Jey finally stood up, dropped the mic, and pulled a small, battered digital recorder from his pocket. He held it up to the broadcast microphone, and the audio that filled the rafters wasn't a confession, it was a heartbeat. A slow, rhythmic thumping that synced with the pulsing red lights of the arena. Jey finally spoke, his voice cracking with a mix of betrayal and adrenaline. He said, "I thought we were brothers. I thought we were the ones who were gonna change this game together. But you didn't just want my spot, you wanted my soul." And then, the reveal happened in the most apocalypse way possible. Jey didn't say a name. He walked over to the corner of the ring, ripped up the padding, and pulled out a single, tattered piece of white wrist tape. On that tape, written in what looked like black permanent marker, was a date, the night Jey won his first singles title. Jey looked directly into the camera and said, "Come out here and finish what you started, Jimmy." The arena didn't explode with noise, it imploded with a collective gasp of pure disbelief. Jimmy Uso? The brother? The one who had been at Jey's side in the hospital? The one who had been leading the Justice for Jey movement for the last month? The lights didn't flicker, they turned a blinding, surgical white as Jimmy Uso stepped out onto the ramp. He wasn't wearing his USO gear. He was wearing a suit. He looked like a corporate assassin. He didn't look remorseful. He looked bored. He walked down that ramp with a smirk that told the world he had enjoyed every second of the deception. The energy in the building shifted from suspense to a visceral, heady sense of drama. Jimmy didn't even enter the ring. He stood on the apron, inches away from his twin, and whispered loud enough for the ringside mics to catch, "You were getting too big, Jey. The main event was supposed to be us. But you made it about you. I didn't bury you under that steel to kill you. I buried you so you'd remember where you came from. You're a tag team specialist, us. And I'm the one who decides when you're done." Backstage, our sources at Wrestling Apocalypse are telling us the locker room was in a state of absolute, paralyzed awe. We've heard reports that several top-tier superstars, including Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn, were standing at the monitors with their hands over their mouths. One producer told us that the twin betrayal had been kept so secret that even the refereeing staff didn't know who was walking through that curtain. The vibe back there is icy, with a feeling that the bloodline's rot hasn't just spread, it has mutated into something far more personal and far more dangerous. The fan perspective on social media has reached a level of hysteria we haven't seen since the heel turn of the century. Within minutes of the reveal, #USO vs USO and #The Betrayal were trending at #1 worldwide. The debates are already starting. Is Jimmy justified? Has he been living in Jey's shadow for too long? Or is this the ultimate act of cowardice? One fan tweeted, "I feel like I just watched my own family break apart in high definition." It's a perfect description of the emotional reality we saw tonight. This wasn't just a wrestling angle. It was a Shakespearean tragedy played out in front of millions. Think about the cinematic stakes for WrestleMania 42. We are no longer looking at a simple grudge match. We are looking at a war for the identity of the USO name. Jimmy has positioned himself as the architect of the Bloodline's true legacy, claiming that Jey's solo success was a betrayal of the ancestors. Jey, on the other hand, looks like a man who has nothing left to lose. He didn't hit Jimmy tonight. He didn't even swing the chair. He just watched his brother walk away, and as the show went off the air, Jey Uso did something terrifying. He started to laugh. Not a happy laugh, but the laugh of a man who has finally accepted that the apocalypse is here, and he's ready to burn the house down with everyone inside. The commentary team was in a state of absolute wreckage as the credits rolled. Michael Cole was shouting about the sanctity of brotherhood being destroyed, but Wade Barrett was uncharacteristically quiet. He pointed out that Jimmy's tactical brilliance was unmatched, noting that by attacking Jey and then leading the search, Jimmy had effectively eliminated every other suspect and kept himself closer to the information than anyone else. It was surgical. It was cold. It was the Wiseman style of manipulation applied to twin brothers. As we look toward next week, the apocalypse has officially reached the USO family. We are going to be tracking every backstage whisper, every medical update on Jey's psychological state, and every cryptic social media post from Jimmy. We've heard rumors that a tribal elder is being flown in to mediate, but after what we saw tonight, I don't think there's enough peace in the world to stop this collision. I want to hear from you, because the wrestling apocalypse community is the smartest in the world. Did you suspect Jimmy? Did you think that justice for Jey movement was a front, or were you as blindsided as the rest of us? And most importantly, who do you side with? Is Jey a traitor to the tag team, or is Jimmy a monster fueled by jealousy? Get down in those comments and let your voice be heard. We read every single one of them, and your theories are the lifeblood of this channel. If you're as electrified and heartbroken by this reveal as we are, hit that like button to show your support. It helps us keep the lights on while we hunt for the truth in the shadows. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a beat as we head toward the most violent WrestleMania in history. The mask is off, the brother has fallen, and the apocalypse is just getting started. I've been your host for Wrestling Apocalypse. Watch your back, stay loud, and we'll see you at the next bell.